Adaptability is the key for the future. When you look at your child, I have a question. Look at your child when your child is playing. Or if you're a preschool teacher or a teacher, look at the children that you're observing in your classroom. When you give them an exercise and they complete the exercise, then ask them a question. Would you like to have a similar example? Or should I give you an exercise which is completely different? See what the children say. Sadly, most of the children nowadays want you to give them a similar exercise. In the very little one, you can see if they finish a puzzle, they don't choose a puzzle which is very different, they choose a similar puzzle. Whenever you observe this, you see that there is a fixed mindset, that the children are actually in a fixed mindset, trying to grow very slowly, step by step, on what they already know. Maybe have a little change, but not a big change. In today's world, we need people who have a growth mindset, who have the competence to adapt to different situations, who have the skills to make huge changes, to do something very different. Like you're in one branch at the present moment and you shift to a completely different because you see that this one is not working out. Like now in this corona crisis, we can see that some businesses are highly affected. If you're in one of these businesses, are you able to just let it go and shift to a different business, which at the present moment is really needed? And so this is what shows how your mindset has grown and how it is. Do you have the ability to adapt? Do you have a growth mindset? Or have you been grown up with a fixed mindset? So going back to the children, looking at our children, we as teachers, as educators, but also as parents should regularly ask the question if children want to do something very different or something similar. This helps us to understand how they are going in their mind growth. Whenever you see that they are running into a fixed mindset, see that you help them to adapt, give them different opportunities. What is the important part to understand? A fixed mindset is a mindset that comes from being afraid of making errors or mistakes. We grew a society who doesn't like to make mistakes, but at the present moment, I have to tell you, till now, and it doesn't look that it's getting different, mistakes are what makes people grow, what makes people successful, and what makes people to be able to adapt to different situations around. So we need to get in a mode of loving mistakes. The second that we see is that children who want to stay in this fixed mindset, they normally lack good self-esteem, because when they operate in a known area, their weaknesses will not show up. So what happens is they look good to the outside. They look like they are experts. They look like they are really great in that one part. But when they step out of this comfort zone, they wouldn't be the same person. Of course, they make mistakes. And of course, it comes back to self-esteem that might not be strong enough to say, it doesn't matter how many errors, how many mistakes I make, I'm still great because I'm doing something new, I'm doing something different. So the second is we have to help children to grow the self-esteem. Self-esteem is work on oneself to know that whatever happens in the outside, I am a wonderful human being, just by how I am. And what is a little bit conflicting in that is when we put children in a competitive system too early. I don't say that children shouldn't compete, because at a certain age, children start loving it, but it's too early. So in TLI Pedagogics, we recommend competitions with others starting at around 12 years. Before, we highly recommend to help children to learn how to validate their own results, how to grow themselves, how to grow the self-esteem and build upon them. This is what I was able to do 2 weeks ago. This is what I'm able to do now. So this helps to grow a good self-esteem, but also to see, okay, this is something I'm not yet able to do. So how do I get there? So this helps to grow a very good feeling to oneself and very good self-esteem. So to grow a mindset who is able to adapt, we need errors and we need good self-esteem. And this is what I would like you to watch out as a teacher, as an educator, and as a parent. Watch out if your child or the children around you are getting into a fixed idea of how it should be. Try to operate in a certain level and not going in a different way. I need to tell you a story. Why I actually make this video is because at the present moment, I have a student in my workshop, and whenever we give an exercise, he needs it exactly. And I have another student also in India in our basic training for teachers education, preschool education. And she also, whenever I give an exercise, she wants to know exactly how much, when, what, how, and how do I want her to complete it. So this is a complete scarcity inside of the human being about making an error, not making it right, or maybe not performing to the grade they want, by not being able to work it out themselves. So there's a huge limitation of living a potential which is inside of us if we limit us to what another person wants us to do. So in a very good training, you can see that there's always the question asked, what do you think? How would you approach it? It's important to come to a target on different ways and not just on one way. So again, self-esteem and errors are the key to a growth mindset. Be happy about mistakes, know that they are learning steps, and grow your self-esteem. True for us as grown-ups, but also for the children. Children should be in a surrounding where they are allowed to grow a healthy self-esteem and where they're allowed to make many, many mistakes. This is a great combination for a mindset who helps to adapt to the many different situations in life in the future. I wish you a good day. Hear you soon.